Welcome to the Vandry View.
My name is William Vandry. I am the co-host of my podcast and my wife's podcast, The Vandry View. Chandra is actually behind doing a lot of tech things right now. So first of all, for you, a lot of you guys know me, I am a sports medicine specialist, I'm a sports injury specialist, and I am a sports nutritionist. And I am also a naturopathic practitioner, so I know both views of medicine. And I also know a lot on nutrition and working that are a little bit contrary as far as better research. I worked with disease for many years, and I've worked with a lot of clients from different conditions. I'm going to talk about one of mine today, and his name is James Kohler, and he's a veteran who had a lot of conditions we'll talk about. Also, when we're talking about this on the show, we like to talk about BJJ, MMA, nutrition, and health, and those are topics that are really a lot of fun to talk about. We've had past guests like Bas Rutten, Carlos Machado, John Fitch, who's one of my past clients. And here I want to start this as a really, really good guy, and he's somebody who has a big story for you guys to kind of listen to. So I want to introduce you to welcome to the show, James Kohler.
Hi, thank you, William.
Good to have you, buddy. So, James, first of all, can you talk about, you were a veteran, you had 1,000,001 conditions, about as down and out as you can get. And I want you to kind of can you go over your history, first of all? Your experience in the military, where you served, or units, whatever you want to give, and then talk about your conditions in general that you've been through, and then go over a little bit after that. When I think you heard Bas Rutten go over that, and then we met, and we're going to go through there on you overcoming these conditions. Fire away.
All righty. I enlisted in the U.S. Army as a rifleman, 11 Bravo. I originally wasn't really too sure about it, but I had an opportunity to do it. I didn't have anything going on major in life in regards to school. Deployed to Afghanistan in 2008 and left the service in early 2010. And, just wear and tear, accumulation, definitely dealing with stuff from the deployment. And started just to try and live a normal life. And, things compound, things add up, try and deal with things the old Irish way. Doesn't exactly work. And next thing you know, you're like, oh, shit, I'm kind of jacked up, to keep it simple.
Yeah, there. A Kohler, so you're Irish.
German and Irish.
German, Irish. Vandry last name, I'm Irish.
God help us all, right?
God help us all.
We're everywhere.
Better not tell Conor McGregor. Anyway, so on your experience, go over when you start experiencing pain issues and chronic issues. And I think when you first started, one of the problems was, I think the first thing was the tinnitus, then your chronic pain, and then of course, everything from PTSD, from sleep, from pain, et cetera, et cetera. Kind of generalize all of those if you can. Just kind of tell a little bit about your timeline of what you experienced, and also relating with people who are listening, especially veterans, that they can understand what you're saying because of the depth of what you went through and experienced. Go and just kind of go through each of your conditions, what you went through, and basically what it cost you in a lot of ways.
There's definitely a hidden price to pay, but there has to be a big asterisk. Experiences may vary. I discovered I definitely had some issues from the service, some back and neck stuff, just running around, all that equipment on. Just you're not made for that. You're not made to have a helmet with night vision and all this other crap on it for 12 to 18 hours a day sometimes. And when I got home, I threw myself right into going to school and working again and trying to get back to normal life. And it just kind of like the Snowball Effect. If you put stuff on the back burner, you're living a hectic lifestyle, it's going to catch up. Sooner or later, you're going to have to pay your tab.
Let's talk about you now. Let's talk about your fascinating story. So here, let's go over all of your health issues. I don't know if you remember all, because there was 3 million of them. So let's talk about, man, that chart I sent you. And by the way, you know, it's like, can you imagine how many millions of years I went through all that charts, man? Golly, I was this poor guy. So let's talk about first how you heard about me, and let's talk about you were listening with Boss Rutan, and then when you contacted me, and then the main pain things, how they were affecting you, and then we're going to talk about the solutions that we went through, the nutrition, and then where you are today. Because that's another thing too. We need to make sure people understand where you went from the worst, you know, to right on top of the world. So go ahead, start with I guess you're sitting there listening, boss, and you're sitting there. Of course, you have pain galore and sleep and anxiety.
Yeah,
Whatever.
that's exactly what I was experiencing. Very, very similar. And the entropy and everything. And so I did a little more research, and I saw John Fitch talking about it also. And I'd watched MMA. I knew who both of these guys were, and both of them had mentioned working with you. So I got on the old interwebs, and I looked you up. I saw you were local, too, to me, kind of, with you being in Austin and me being
Sure.
further south down in like the San Antonio Hill Country there, a little bit west. So I figured, hey, if it worked for these guys, let me reach out and see if it'll work out for me. At the time, I was still pretty new on the journey. I'd begun, you know, correcting some bad habits, but I was still dealing with lingering pain issues, in particular, my neck going down into my arm.
Yeah.
I reached out to you and talked about the program, you know, what's required, what your expectations were, and it seemed simple enough, and it wasn't surgery, and it wasn't any kind of medications. And I could say now that we're about, I want to say, we're
It's
3 or
been
4
over.
months done with our formal business, and I still feel great. Still taking the supplements.
There you go.
Just doing a little bit of light working out here and there.
Yeah.
I moved to Texas. I was 280 pounds of a heart attack with a side of potatoes waiting to happen.
Wow. Oh my
And
God.
now I am hovering around 225.
Wow. Awesome. Yeah, I saw that because you sent that picture a while back. You look, you know, a lot more fit. You know, you got some more muscle on you too. But wow, that's 60 some pounds. Holy cow.
It was just like, you know, taking your advice and, you know, having some discipline. It works. What do you know? You know, you got to make the effort, and it's all I could tell people. If you put the effort in and you work with an actual expert, someone that knows what they're talking about, too easy. And I didn't get any red flags dealing with you. You weren't like, hey, you've got to buy my specific product. That's a big red flag.
Right.
And things like that. You were just like, hey, I've got this great oil. You should try some out. You let me try it. I liked it. What do you know? I bought the effing oil, and I didn't feel really pressured into buying it or anything.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
never felt like there was some kind of nefarious, you know, aspect going on.
yeah.
All the supplement brands and products you've told me to get have turned out to be quality.
Yeah.
I haven't had any adverse side effects or anything, and
Right.
you know, thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And to make sure for listeners, what James is talking about is Sharon and I invented a product called St. Jude's Miracle Oil after St. Jude, the patron saint of lost causes, is where I put it there.
That's
And
the one.
that's the one. And he's my patron saint. I always thought, you know, just with the lost cause guy, which is where the oil we developed. It's a proprietary blend of 9 essential oils, and it's a product we developed for inflammation and pain, but it does a lot more that we wanted to develop, you know, things. And what we did here is like, anyway, it's just a topical. It's not a medicine, it's not a drug, and it's not anything approved by the FDA. So all information, and we talk about here, is for informational and entertainment purposes. So what happened here is in the oil, when we did it, it was for people to use it. Very good. I'm glad you're a constant customer. And regarding for listeners, when James is talking about the supplements, I don't make supplement. Although, do you know, James, we actually came out with two more products. We
I believe,
developed,
yeah, I remember you were telling me about these.
yeah, and for listeners, we have the St. Jude's Miracle Oil. You can go to stjudesmiracleoil.com, STJUDES, miracleoil.com. And then we have another one called Sinus X, which is when people just can't breathe at all. It really clears up the nasal passages a little bit better. And we have one called Got Sleep and one called Got Allergy, and you can just guess what both of those are for. And they have worked fantastic for, like a lot of things that we've got for you on supplements that I had to look on Amazon or other places. So we just did a package. We've developed our own product to kind of encompass everything versus taking this, that, and a million other pills for sleep and for allergies. So, and what James is talking about is like when we're talking about supplements, what I have to do is when I'm working with someone in pain, for a lot of supplements are very cheaply made. A lot of them are synthetic. A lot of them don't work. And a lot of them, you can actually get side effects, like it might have cause constipation, diarrhea, or loose stool, and a lot of other problems. And that's where a lot of products go off. And when you get so many synthetic vitamins or minerals, they're not real things for you to take. So I have to chew through what is the best products out there. And then those are the ones when I have, people that I work and consult, I have to make sure I give them a list here. You can get this on Amazon. So that's what James is talking about. So James, go back here now. Let's go over your laundry list. So the first thing here is like on your back. And of course, let's talk about, because I think when you had your pain in the neck and the shoulder, and that was degeneration, and you had the back too. And that's when the nerves start pinching because the disc starts squeezing, which is a form called osteoarthritis. And what you had was what's called degenerative disc disease, which that's when the disc is squeezing. And of course, it's technically there's nothing you can do about it. According to medicine, they don't regrow, you can't regrow, blah blah blah. Well, I'm not going to make any claims because to make sure again, if you have policies, but we've got X-rays, we're going to put those up here and things. And let's just say, I think, James, you can kindly tell people that there is solutions out there for all those things.
Let's go to the videotape.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
sure. Seeing is believing. I could run. I could sprint again. I could run around in a plate carrier again. I couldn't do this before. Not making the shit up. He hasn't paid me. I'm not a paid shill.
There's a lot of them out there too, ain't there? And so, yeah, and when we're looking at here, and also sleep, anxiety, and I think also, James, what hit you of everything? And of course, also, by the way, so I'm going to go through a list. Is like, James also had diabetes. Remember, he had type 2. I had to find that out. We've already got the glucose test. It used to be 115 type 2. Messed this back, 2014. So it got a big head start. I got, like 9 years head start on me. So the last glucose test we had is 86. So you figure out what that means. Yeah. Insomnia was another problem. Sleep.
I had major sleep issues.
Yep. And for veterans, what a difference does it make when you can get some sleep finally?
Huge.
Changes your
Absolutely huge.
It does. And then you got to have sleep. You can't detoxify your system and absorb food, because when you sleep, the blood goes into your digestive issues and the detox issues. And a lot of people don't understand sleep is where you're resetting the neurological system, all these really good things. And, I think I might have told you this before, James. I had one of my paying clients. He's a veteran too. He was in the Air Force. He didn't sleep for 20 years.
Ugh.
He sleeps now. He's just like you. But there's solutions for that too. And what happened is people got to know that stuff. And I think like the back, the fusion, everything. Okay, what hit you? What was the everything? Pain, the back degenerative disc that you no longer have issues like that anymore. The PTSD, the anxiety. What encompassed like in a message would you say? Hey man, this has really hit me the most, or is it all of them just together? Because there were so many other things we did.
I'd definitely say the back and the neck that opened up mobility, being able to go out, go for walks, hikes, runs, do a little bit of lightweight lifting, things I couldn't do before. And once the ball got rolling, I found a lot of things are definitely a lot more manageable.
There you go. And that's a good message for people too, because a lot of vets do that too. I got one. He's in San Antonio too. That's what I was telling you. I was going to try to get you guys together with this. It's like he's very degenerative, like you were, and he just got. So he was in the ER like 3 times in a week because his pain was so bad. He had to get shots and stuff, but he's over there, so not here. It's hard for him to even drive in his pain, and so I told him, man, we got to get you started. We got to get you started. And he's like, just these are tough circumstances. So that's good. So we started in January 23. So when we started getting you on that, once you got your program, and I got you the correct supplements. Remember, the first thing was the digestive issue was not correct. And all of a sudden, you start having great digestion, which meant you're absorbing. So on results, like for pain, sleep, feeling better, everything. How fast did this take when we first started? Not to feel full cure yet, but when you just started feeling, you could tell there was quite a difference.
I'd say the first full month with the supplements and the adjusted nutrition, adjusting the way we shop, less processed products and foods, avoiding certain oils, things like that. About that point, I really noticed there was definitely, it couldn't be a placebo at that point.
Right. Yeah, that's a really good one too. And that's one thing a lot of people don't know. People have allergens to foods that they are not even aware of. So those are a thing that's say really quick on conditions. Here's a chart. So 2014, you had severe PTSD. Severe tinnitus. 2023, we don't have that. You had 2014, again, the anxiety issue with the VA. 2023, we didn't have the issues. It was back into the 15 was the insomnia, and PTSD was the appointments that you was really stressed. It wasn't quite there. And 16 was when they found out you had the type 2 diabetes, and it went to 86 in 2023. It's no longer the factor. And of course, 15 was migraines. It was when I first met you too. And at 15, you had lower back pain, you had osteoarthritis, you had the cervical, which is a degeneration of the cervical disc. Also, I don't know if you remember this too. You used to have steatosis or fatty liver disease.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, bye-bye. And so for some reason, I don't show up on the charts. That's VA. Go figure. You had your right shoulder started really killing you in 2016 because that's when you had the degenerative shoulder pain. It was in 16, so it's been quite some time. Cervical disc degeneration. You had like the muscle spasms. Remember that? That's from 2000. Yeah. And in 19 was where I think may have been your lowest point with the PTSD and depression, and it was just really kind of getting that bad, and it was worsening. And it's like now you've overcome all that, and then of course the tinnitus thing was weird because you also had a condition called polycythemia vera, which this is a condition where you're overproducing like the red blood cells that's in the bone marrow. And this was something I think I told you, I flagged it when we were going through.
I remember we discussed that.
Yeah, that was really scary because when it was looking at like your HCT levels, which for some of you know that your hematocrit or HCT levels were very high, and then your hemoglobin levels were very high. Now, maybe it could have been someone, ran and was dehydrated. Maybe because that can affect sometimes blood cells. But unfortunately, when you have high hematocrit or polycystic vera level is usually getting to be a cancer in the blood, and that's very scary because when it overproduces the red blood cells, man, that's scary. Well, you don't have that for some reason. It doesn't show up on the charts anymore, and then of course, your comp blood test showed in 2023. You don't have anything. Your hematocrit level is normal. Hemoglobin level is normal. So all these are affected by choices and of your nutrition and diet correctly. You had the degenerative disc disease, which that was where the back pain came from, osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, and your 2023 X-rays. And then, of course, the one thing was your blood pressure was very high. Then all of a sudden now your blood pressure is normal. That's a lot of stuff. And yeah, we could get a laundry list. I think those are major things right there because all veterans and even civilians, everybody has these type things, and they're on blood pressure meds or this or something, and then they are another one. So this is kind of a list of all those things, which congratulations to you, because you know something, Jen, is like, for me to work with people, it has to take courage from the person. It has to take will and commitment. And a lot of times, like there's a guy, he's in, I think Florida, was on Facebook. The guy's, he was in an incident where he was paralyzed. He's in a wheelchair. And sometimes when people are posting, I would reach out and say, hi, I don't anymore. Because everybody reaches to me, it's a lot easier. But I remember talking to him. I even sent him a bottle of my oil for his pain. And the first thing he said, he goes, well, send me a list of all the supplements and I'll take a look at it and see it. And I said, you're going to, what? You want me to? I said, wow. So now you're a nutritionist? I said, my friend, I'm supposed to send you this so you can, think you're going to do something? Thanks a lot. And that's the problem with people is people want a quick fix. They don't want to commit, and they really don't want to do work. They want to just get a quick red or the blue pill. And I think it's more than that. You have to commit yourself to discipline of every minute of your life. And that's really where people like you are an awesome success story. And congratulations to you. God has been with you very well.
Yeah, I've never had a VA doctor talk to me about nutrition.
Yeah, they don't know.
Not once.
Yeah, no, they don't know it.
There's hope too. People, it's not like you're going to become a Franciscan monk when you're doing this program. Like every now and then, guess what? I would drink some light beer. Every now and then, I'd eat some fucking tacos. Why am I a human being?
That's right.
But the overwhelming majority of the time, dare I say, I followed a simple program. I found the biggest benefits. 1, cut the soda out of your life. You don't need it. 2, stop eating fast food, maybe once a week. That's all you need. If you got the little goblin gland in your brain and you need some McDonald's fries once a week, that's it. A little discipline.
Right. Yeah. You're right on the money right there. You just said the word discipline. That's it. And you're right. You don't have to be a monk. You don't have to be. Some people go out and have a beer or something or some people eat like a fast food or whatever, or even just restaurant food. That's not the point. The point is how you take care of yourself on an overall level. And that's what you were doing. And I mean, it's been over a year now.
Been over a year. And honestly, I feel really good. It's helped in my personal life, relationships with other people, doing stuff I've wanted to do. I keep my life pretty simple now, but I'm definitely in a happier place ever since, I feel like I'm definitely in a better place, and I'm definitely glad I reached out to you and, followed the program.
Much thanks. I'm glad you did too. Yeah, I'm really happy when I meet people like you. I have a cause myself. I believe in what I do, and I know I can make a difference in it. When I get guys, especially veterans, they're really things. And also, here, I'm gonna bug Boss about this, but why don't you if you want to give a quick thanks to Boss and John Fitch also for the programs, for them mentioning me. I'm gonna send it to them, and let me see if maybe they can I'll see if they can send me something. Let me see if they can send me a post or something like that to send to you. How about
that? Boss Rutan's a legend. I've seen videos of him slapping the piss out of Japanese men in Pancrase. He's been in Grand Theft Auto. He has this weird ability. Anything he says could show up in yellow letters under him sometimes, which is an inside joke. I remember his self-defense videos, which may have had some spicy moments. Then John Fitch, world-class fighter. A lot of respect. A lot of respect for Mr. Fitch. I'm glad he's still doing his own thing. Yeah,
me too. And you know what? If you look at him, his health is really good. John Fitch has not broke off the Vandry nutritional program ever since I've known him. He still stays on everything.
That beard too. That beard. You got to be healthy with a beard like that.
Yeah, you got to be healthy. You're a tough guy, man. Because it's like, man, it's like you're gonna get the Geico caveman jokes if you keep growing that beard out. I got to talk to John about that.
Absolutely, dude. Both of those guys, man. A lot of respect to both of them,
Yeah.
and I'm glad
Hey,
being a fan of MMA. I took their opinion seriously when they were talking, and it was eerily similar, especially what John
yeah,
Fitch is talking about. I think I
yeah,
said some of the same shit to you when we first talked, word for word, the
yeah,
symptoms.
yeah. It is. Well, it's because a lot of people have the same problems. See, when you degenerate, you're losing your cartilage or your collagen discs, and the disc is from the same cause. You have malnutrition, you don't have the correct nutrients, and you don't have the correct detoxification process. Also, you don't know what you're putting in your body. John was like you. Yeah, it was his arm. His arm was totally numb. He had the same problem as you, same one. He had degeneration in his cervical disc, which that's what pinches down the nerves. That's why some people feel there's pain in the elbows, like an ow, it's like that. That's because that's a pinch going. And then sometimes they feel a tingling on their fingers or
That's what
numbness.
I had. Yeah,
Yeah,
the fingers.
he did too. Yeah, when those discs pinch down, they go down to the nerves that go down to the arms, to the fingers, and John too. I mean, if you in the movie Got Pain, I don't know if you've got to see it yet, but if you watch the movie, his story, he had anxiety really bad too, because it's not the problem is you can't tell people that because you're crazy. No, anxiety is 100%. You have stress in your life. You have malnutrition, which is the number one cause, because you can still have stress and not have anxiety. You can have
Hmm.
like stress or pressure, like deadlines for jobs, so like that. But when you have anxiety, you are lacking a lot of nutrients, and you have to keep these going. And this is, of course, you can find this anywhere on the NCBI, the medical journals. This is all a medical document issue. The problem is people don't know how to take it, or they'll buy one and they pop it. I had for example, there's a guy who I worked with. This guy's a really interesting story too. This guy had, a lot of pain. He had degeneration. He had his knees were gone. He had no cartilage there. We have his MRIs show all that nice cartilage now, but he had a lot of issues. And one of the things with like anxiety and stuff like that is sometimes when you're on medications also can interfere with other medications. So they put
Absolutely.
you, and that's another thing. This is, to me, this is medicine. Doctors should be more educated on that. Like, what they don't understand when you take certain, for example, tramadol, or for example, take two different antibiotics. Well, an antibiotic kills your gut flora, your stomach gut flora, and there's two bacteria. One's a good, one's a bad. When you kill them all, the bad ones grow back faster. Now you have candida, which is what you had too. Remember the blood, the sour cell, all that? That's candida, and that's when they're like that. All of a sudden, the gut flora can't absorb food. You have this bad bacterium going. You've got yeast. You've got an overgrowth of yeast. And when you're looking at these conditions, all of them are the same thing. But see, this is what happens. Everybody has to start with the gut
Hmm.
flora. Your gut flora is number one. If you don't absorb foods, you're not going to go anywhere. You're just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. And like a lot of times when I'm talking to people about the gut flora, SSRIs or serotonin reuptake inhibitors. These are drugs like Zoloft and all these other things that they slow serotonin release in the brain, right? So that you can feel really good or not drop down to depression issues. But what people do not understand, and this is one of the reasons why you feel so much better, and what your PTSD and everything's manageable. Because what people don't know is 95% of your serotonin is created in the gut, not the brain. Only 5% is up here. So if everybody understood how to do some corrections, man, they could get their serotonin released normal. And that's what happened with you and a lot of other people. And this is where not only with supplementation, it has to be corrected. And so, that's a really, really good point. Well, I'm going to clock in on this, but it doesn't go too long. Let me ask you, give me, like right now, if we had like, 10 million veterans watching, that'd be nice if we did too. I want to get some advertising, but for those with PTSD, with chronic pain, with depression, anxiety, and that may be on opioids, and of course, the opioid disaster is a huge disaster. What are you, James, as a human being, as a veteran, and as a survivor, and someone who's experienced what we work with, what is your message to them, like for their health? Like, tell me what you would tell them if you were speaking to all of them right now.
There's definitely hope. You just got to be strong, got to stick to it.
Yeah. And that's the whole key point. Don't give up. And also I tell them, like, and for all veterans out there, I do work with chronic pain. He's one of my clients. I work with a bunch. I work with you guys. You can contact me on williamvandry.com or any of those conditions and positions like that. We love to work with. And we got one of these days, I'd love to get maybe like a big veterans expo type thing, or some type of an issue where we do like an event where we talk about a lot of these things with meetup and veterans actually talk to each other that want solutions with this too. Now maybe that'd be something we can do in the future.
All right.
Good deal. Well, I'm going to thank my guest, James Kohler, and my friend and client, and a very, very big success story. Thank you for being on the show, James. I appreciate everything for your time and for your courage from surviving and doing this. And the message for hopefully we'll reach out to a lot of veterans and people too. And when this is done, I'll get you a copy of this so you can. I'll let you know when we get this thing going. But thanks so much for being on the show, James. I know you're kind of on some time, but I'm gonna let you go, man. But thanks so much for being on my show.
All right, glad to be a help.
Hi, this is Chandra Vandry. I want to thank you for watching our podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. I am excited to announce that our products we talked about, the St. Jude's Miracle Oil, Sinus X, Got Allergy, and Got Sleep, are now available on Amazon. So please go check us out. If you are interested in more information on consulting with William Vandry, please go to his website at www.williamvandry.com. Again, thank you for watching, and please hit like and subscribe.